Welcome back to another sophisticated organizing video. This is one of my favorite places of all time to organize, the pantry, and I know it's something you all love to watch as well. So today I'm going to do a little bit of a pantry refresh. When I moved into this house in September of 2021, I used pretty much all of the products that I had from my previous apartment and brought them over here, kind of made it work, didn't buy really much of anything new. So I have lived here for over a year now, and I think it's time to do a little bit of purchasing some new items to make the organizing a little bit more custom to my space. All of the organizing products I got are from Target, and I will share all of the links with you in the description box for the new items that I purchased in my pantry, as well as other things that I can find links for. So make sure to check there if you're looking for any of the products that you see in this video. So the first thing I'm doing is putting some of the new product in the pantry as I'm pulling stuff out. I had a vision in my mind of how I wanted this to work. Of course, before I ordered anything and picked up any of the new organizers, I did some measurements and tried to make sure that they would fit nicely on the pantry shelves here. I do wish that the pantry shelves were a tiny bit deeper. If we end up staying in this house for a long period of time and I decide to make the investment, I would consider redoing the shelves in this pantry and making one shelf or maybe all of them come out a little bit more so I could have more of a countertop and have some of my appliances sit on there. I love that I have outlets in the pantry. You'll see I have my toaster there. I played around a little bit with having my air fryer sit on the countertop there because I do wish I had a spot that I could put all of the appliances, my blender, I have my little milk frother, all of that stuff, and it could just permanently stay on a shelf put away in the pantry. But a girl can dream, and it seems like for now a lot of those appliances will have to stay on the floor and I'll need to pull them out as I need them and plug them in on the countertop. There are quite a few things that I don't use on a regular basis that I can put up high, so I got a shoe shelf. I got a little bit creative. I always do that when I'm looking for organizing products. Don't just look in the section of the home that you're trying to organize based on the way that the store you're purchasing from categorizes things. The shoe shelf actually fit quite well at the top of the pantry, and I didn't have to do any construction in my home. If you are a renter, that's a great idea as well. If you have some extra space on the floor, for example, if I had a little more space, I would have put that shoe shelf on the bottom, but I love that I can take advantage of the height there. So at this point, I've done some rearranging and I'm a little bit stuck with how I want to proceed. So Jim was actually nearby, so he popped over in the pantry and we were talking through what he thought. He usually just kind of trusts me with the organizing, but we share this home together. He's in the pantry a lot as well, though I typically do more of the cooking. I wanted his opinion and he had some really great ideas.
I've been here before, familiar with the view, this ain't nothing new.
Okay, so I finally think I have a layout that I like. There's a few more products that I'm gonna go pick up and a few things I'm going to return. But while I wait to do that, I'm going to organize and declutter actually the items and the food that goes in the pantry.
But it's easier with you.
First up, I had a bin for all of Owen's snacks, and I'm going to pull all of the stuff out there. It was called snacks, but that didn't really make sense because it was just food for our child. So I'm going to have to rename that when I come up with the new system for the bins that I've added, but I'm going to still keep the old bins that I had and probably put them all up high. So I'm rearranging and moving some of the tags to different bins. So that one I changed to nut milks. All of my milk alternatives, I usually buy them from Costco, so I do have some back stock and I will put those at the top of the shelf. I also have back stock spices. I keep my most regularly used spices spices, easily accessible. And then when I buy them in bulk or buy spices that I don't use as regularly, I have them for more specific recipes, then I will put them in this spice container, and that can go up high at the top of the pantry as well. So what I'm doing right now is going through all of those spices. I want to check expiration dates. I want to make sure I don't have duplicates. I also want to combine things that I can or refill jars that need a little bit of refills, and maybe I can throw away a few of the bottles in the backup spice container. This bottle was ginormous, so I have a smaller bottle of it, which I'm going to refill, and then I was going to grab a little plastic bag and pour the rest of it in there so I can just get rid of the big plastic bottle because it takes up so much space. The one thing that annoys me is I made a mistake and bought a second ranch seasoning. Those things are huge. So you'll see I have 2 ranch seasonings there, and should have checked what I had in the pantry before I went out to the grocery store. Another bin that I have said baking on it, and this is backup food baking products. I had another bin that's also baking items that go up high. So I'm going to go through this because I also have separate bins for sprinkles and decorations. I'm pulling those out right now and just trying to figure out the best way to organize all of my baking items here because I have so many because I love to bake.
And as the light startled our eyes, we let go of disguise.
I decided to have one bin for my cake spinner that I use when I'm making a cake, and little cardboard cake circles, as well as a tool that you can use to slice cakes. Cake strips are those purple items there that I'm adding into the bin as well. So I think that's going to complete one bin. I'm going to set it aside and then evaluate the rest of it. In these clear and turquoise bins, I have one for frosting. I have one for decorations, I'm calling it. One for cookie cutters and one for cupcake liners. The cookie cutters and cupcake liners are already organized the way that I want them to. And I'm going back and forth on how I want to do the decorations because it's not quite fitting in this clear and turquoise bin. So I went back and forth, but what I ultimately decided was I'm going to put all of the items that are more holiday or special occasion related in one bin, and the regular day-to-day decorations, if you can say day-to-day. I'm not necessarily baking every day, but the more frequently used decorations are going to stay more accessible in the teal and clear bin. And then when I'm baking for holidays, I can pull out the holiday specific sprinkles or the candles that have a number 1 or say happy birthday or something very specific on them.
Breezy, we go.
You'll see how well this bookshelf worked out. All of the bins that I already owned fit so perfectly on there. And as I'm going through here, I'm taking note of the new categories that I'm creating, trying to reuse the labels that I already have, but I will have to make a few labels at the end there and update things a little bit later. I've gathered all of my blender supplies. I'm putting those to the side. And then I had a miscellaneous category, which is never great. So I'm trying to go through the miscellaneous category. I decided to get rid of part of my mixer. I never use it. I'm trying to do a little bit of decluttering here. And if you see me talking, I'm talking to Jim saying, hey, do you think I should get rid of this if I never use it? And his response is usually yes, especially if I've been here for, like I said, over a year and there are certain items I've never used and don't really foresee any occasion when I would use them. I think those are items that I can declutter. So I'll still have a miscellaneous category because I have little things like that waffle maker, or I have my parts to my juicer, and I don't need a whole container just for those things. So I will keep that category, but there are numerous items that go with my Instant Pot and with my mixer that I'm going to create a new category for and separate those out so the bin isn't so stuffed as it was before.
Join our forces. What a bliss. You make me understand this place in a whole different way. You make me wanna live this life to the fullest, to the fullest. Time flies.
I'm also taking this opportunity to wipe things off a bit while I can and restocking my can organizer. This organizer is really simple. It fits cans nicely, and I can also fit some miscellaneous items at the bottom there. Right now I don't have that many items, so I was able to fill up the middle row with all cans. The next row up has a lot of pasta sauces, and then the bottom was actually pretty empty.
What a bliss. You make me understand this place in a whole different way. You make me wanna live this life to the fullest, to the fullest.
Time to play around with some of the new organizers. This is going to be the one where I have Owen snacks in there, and I was so excited about having these organizers because I thought I could add multiple levels and really maximize my space with the trays that fit perfectly on top of these open front bins. But you'll see it didn't really work out for me. But if you are interested in maximizing your vertical space, you could check out these bins and the trays that go along with them. I just found that as I was adding things in there, it was going to be a lot easier not to have a top on there, so I could go in and out and grab things, and I had a lot of items that were really tall, and I would have to put them on their side if I put the tray on top, and it was just much easier to ditch the tray. Next to the kids snack bin, I have more of an adult snack bin, so I'm stocking that up. You'll see these wire bins. That's where I keep some of our produce that doesn't need to be refrigerated. And like I had before, I had a giant bin on the floor that was for backstock, and a lot of it really wasn't true backstock. It was just things that I didn't know where to put in the pantry. So creating new snack bins is solving for that problem, but I do still have backstock items, and they're things that I buy in bulk, typically decant, and don't use the entire container of something, so I still need to have a backstock or extras bin. I'm just choosing to put it way up high and clear off the floor a little bit more.
Days and nights won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know if I will ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm
A little bit of reorganizing the appliances on the floor. I have my juicer here that I cut the tag off of, my Instant Pot, my mixer, my brand new air fryer, and I actually decided to move the juicer over. And then I'm gonna pop back on the shelves there and do some reorganizing of my oil and vinegar Lazy Susan. I never filmed this as a part of a YouTube video, but I did upgrade my oil and vinegar bottle, so I will link those in the description box as well. Really like the new containers that I have. I think they are really aesthetically pleasing and also work quite well.
cliff so high, trusting our wings to fly. Sometimes we're crashing down, but we get up and start from the ground.
I just got back from running some errands. I returned a lot of the organizers that didn't fit or work out for me, and then I wanted to get some new ones to finish up the project here. So I did a Target pickup and placed an order for a few more OXO containers because one of them is cracked and I wanted a few more to finish up kind of this 2-level thing that I'm working on. And before I did the Target pickup, I ran to Home Goods and found some of the OXO containers at a much cheaper price there. So after I did my Target pickup, I went and returned everything else and also returned a couple of those OXOs that I had just ordered. So great to check a discount store like Home Goods first if you're looking for containers, whether they're the name brand types or I have, let me grab this really quickly. This protein powder that my husband ordered, I mean, like, it is way larger than my face. It is ginormous. There is no way I'm fitting this in my pantry. So I wanted to find a few round containers because I would like to also have another flavor of protein powder, like a chocolate or a vanilla. This one's unflavored. So I was thinking I would get maybe like one for this unflavored one for another protein powder, and then I drink matcha all the time, so I thought I could also put some of my matcha powder in one. So I wanted 3 round canisters, and these ones are so nice. The seal is awesome, and you just flip this little pop up and it opens. So I got these at Home Goods too, so I'm glad I checked there first. Great price. If I can find them online, I will link them as well. But with that, I am going to get the rest of this product in the pantry and finish up the project.
Maybe the sun will spread your joy to the ones who lost their hope.
I honestly couldn't find these types of round containers that I was looking for at Target. I saw some that were in sets of 3, but they were all different sizes, and I wanted them to be the same size. I wanted them to be round because I was putting them on the Lazy Susan and was just kind of going for that look. And I can't believe that I originally thought that I would try and put this giant protein powder in the pantry. Jim and I were trying to find a spot for it, and then as I was redoing the pantry, I was thinking, why would I ever put this giant thing in my pantry? It takes up so much space. Huge fan of decanting for this reason, and especially as that jug starts emptying out, I can throw it away a little bit sooner.
Flowers everywhere. Maybe there is a star with your name. One thing I know is that
Some of the other bins and categories I'm creating here are one for rice and grains, another one for nuts and seeds, and maybe some other dried fruits like raisins or craisins or something if I have those on hand. I will put all of those in there. And then in the corner, I do want to have a little bit of a miscellaneous spot. So I got this organizer that is meant for the corner of different shelves, and it matches some of the other organizers that I got. And I did try loading it up. I'm not sure if it's the solution that I like or if I want to get another Lazy Susan or keep looking. I love everything that I got in the pantry, but I'm still not 100% sold on that one.
dreaming of you. Dreaming of you. I'm dreaming of you.
I got a second shelf riser just like I got for the other side there, so I can stack those OXOs up a little bit higher and I can see everything that I have and do 2 rows there. I wish I would have done this sooner, but so glad I found this solution, and it happens to fit perfectly with the OXOs and on my shelf. Another thing that I found was some small bins that fit inside of these bins, so I can do some more decanting, get rid of packaging, be able to see exactly what we have. I will say the only downside of this is I started decanting some of Owen's snacks, and now he can see all of his snacks and loves going in the pantry and grabbing snacks and holding them up and showing us that he would like to eat one. The other great thing about these ones is that they are stackable, so I can put them side by side or stack them on top of each other depending on what I have in these bins. I also am not planning on labeling these because what's going to be in the larger bins will probably rotate pretty often.
Hey, I heard you got a new best friend. Yeah, it hurts a bit. I won't pretend that it doesn't matter that you're with someone else.
Then I had some other small open spaces that couldn't quite fit those large open front bins that I bought, and I found some matching ones that are a little more narrow, so I got those to fill in the extra spaces, and they fit just perfectly. My idea for the one up high was to create a bin for the items that I'm going to use for recipes that week of cooking. I've seen bins that are for items that should be eaten first, things that are going to expire first. That's a really great idea. I don't have that issue as much, so if you have that issue, maybe consider that. But the issue I have is I get certain things that I'm going to cook for those recipes that I'm making that week, that night, the next day, whatever it might be, and I don't necessarily have a spot for them. So if I have a bin for items that we're eating that week or I'm using recipes that week, I'm hoping that will solve my problem. Now I'm going to finish up putting some labels on things and get this pantry all together. Here is the final after of everything. I'm so excited with how this turned out. I didn't spend a ton of money. I still reused a lot of the products that I had from before, just did a lot of rearranging and made a bunch of extra space for myself and hopefully made this a lot more functional. If you enjoyed today's video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and until next time, I will see you guys later.